Hey everyone, today we'll be discussing Module 5, which covers intercultural communication. Well, the country I chose to do my research on was Brazil. I lived there for 9 years in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I absorbed a lot of the culture and the customs from the people there. And starting off, Brazil is located in South America, and the capital is Brasilia. The population is around 212 million people, and the type of government is a federal presidential republic. The currency is the Brazilian real, also known as the BRL, and the language spoken there is Portuguese. Well, starting off, how does Brazil compare to the US? First of all, in terms of individualism versus collectivism. Well, Brazil is generally more collectivist compared to the US. They value a lot more family, friendships, and social connections, rather than here in the US, where there's independence is very, very strong, and individual achievements are more important. And in terms of high context and low context, Brazil is definitely more high context communication due to relying a lot on the tone of voice, body language, gestures. Really helps get the point across. In terms of perception of power, people in Brazil often show greater respect towards authority figures like teachers, managers, government officials, rather than here in the US. They tend to view relationships between leaders and employees as more equal. Competition versus cooperation. Brazil really values cooperation and relationships more than competition, different from here in the US, where the culture is definitely more competitive, and I've definitely noticed that while living here. Brazilians tend to be way more social than Americans, and that involves a lot of family gatherings, people getting together, and they use a lot of hugs and kisses on the cheek to greet people, which you don't see that a lot here in the US. Things I would do to reduce culture shock would be learn basic phrases in Portuguese, definitely research the local customs of the place I am visiting, be very respectful to the culture and the people in the place where I'm visiting, and definitely not hesitate to ask questions to the locals. They know a lot about the place you are visiting and places to go and where not to go, especially Rio de Janeiro at night. Some of the unique traditions in Brazil involve Carnaval, which is a lot of parades, samba, and colorful costumes. Festa Junina, it involves a lot of traditional foods, bonfires, dancing, and country-style clothing. It is celebrated in June. And of course, soccer, which is the national sport. Some of the nonverbal behaviors Brazilians have are physical touch, eye contact, hand gestures, and personal space is definitely smaller compared to here in the US. Through researching Brazil, I definitely learned that culture strongly influences communication, relationships, and their daily life. Understanding Brazilian values such as family, hospitality, and community is very important, and it is a must if you want to visit Brazil. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day.